It's Fighting Period Poverty round in round 4 of the Signet WNBL, and I'm delighted to have the founder of Share the Dignity, Rochelle Courtenay, with us on the show today. Rochelle, thanks so much for your time. It's great to see you.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here. Who would ever believe that basketball would be mixed with period poverty?
Well, it's a wonderful combination, and we're so happy to be partnering with Share the Dignity. How important is it to be spreading your message amongst women's sport?
Yeah, I think that the fact that there are women and girls in Australia who can't afford the very basic of essentials and are using socks and newspaper and wadded up toilet paper to deal with their period is just not okay here in Australia. And I know that my job has always been to make sure that there isn't a person in Australia who doesn't know that this problem exists, because we're part of the solution. So having women's basketball on board is really important, because the more people who know about it, the more people can help us make a difference.
It's so true. And we had Sydney coach Shane Hill on for a chat. He's a girl dad and, of course, a coach in this league. And it's great to have men using their voice to elevate this message as well. And we were just saying that we've learnt so much looking at some of the statistics, and they're really damning and really significant. When did you first learn about this problem and the statistics and how damning they are in Australia?
Yeah, look, in 2015, I read an article that Mamma Mia wrote that talked about how many women were experiencing homelessness in Australia. There were 48,000 women who didn't have somewhere safe to call home. And while I'd thought about what would happen for women not being safe, where do they sleep, what do they eat, all of those sorts of things, I'd never thought about the fact that they get their period like everybody else, and how would they deal with that. And to read that they were using wadded up toilet paper and socks to deal with their period was mind-blowing to me. That was in 2015. And back then I had my own personal training business, and I asked all of my clients to bring me a packet of pads or tampons for every wine they had in the month of March 2015. Some of my clients would just come with bags and go, "Don't count them, babe, just take them." So we collected 450 packets of pads and tampons, and we gave them out to 5 different charities. But it's not like we're giving a woman a warm jacket and it keeps her warm for years. This is a monthly problem, and the problem is so much bigger than I ever imagined. So I never took into account that actually 173,000 women turned to homelessness services last year. That doesn't include our remote Indigenous sisters or our drought-stricken farming communities, or the people who are living one paycheck to another, who just simply can't afford their rent, electricity, their fuel and their food, and their kids' sports and all of those sorts of things, and are having to go without. So whilst we've now collected 3.8 million packets of pads and tampons to distribute to our 3,000 plus charities around Australia, there's been many times that I've been in a fetal position just going, this problem just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's just incredible listening to that. And I think, talk about folding toilet paper up, and, that's something that resonates with me in high school, where, we would get our period, particularly when we were young girls getting it for the first time, and we mightn't have been prepared. But there was certainly nothing at our public school to help us with that. And one of the big things we're doing in this round with the WNBL is aiming to raise $25,000 for the installation of a dignity vending machine in Australia. So something like that can help all women, because that's something that we all do have in common, is that we get our periods, and that's just the way it is. But we need pads and tampons to be able to deal with that monthly.
Absolutely. And the dignity vending machines was an idea that came to me when I was in a homelessness shelter, and a woman came up to the counter and asked 2 men whether she could get sanitary items. And one man said to the other, "Do you know where the sanitary items are?" And he said, "Yeah, they're upstairs." And he came back and he said, "Do you want pads or tampons?" And she said, "Oh, can I have them both?" And the man said, "Can she have them both?" And I just thought I would have died and crawled up into a hole before I even came to the counter to ask the men for pads and tampons. So fighting period poverty is about so much more than just access to sanitary items. But that is one part that we were able to, I literally thought we need to have a vending machine that dispenses them for free. And obviously I also We also have the timing mechanism on the vending machine so that when we installed them in schools or homelessness centres, they couldn't just be pressed and put on the ground. We now have 352 of those machines installed around Australia, and making sure that people can have access to them with the dignity that they deserve is the highest priority to us. So I'm super excited to see that we're raising money together to make that happen. When I say that access to sanitary items is one part of eradicating period poverty, that is one part. The other part is removing that shame and stigma, right? Which is where basketball is coming in. When we talk about it, we remove the shame. But there is also another really big component to it, and that's about educating. It's about educating boys and girls at school, because those boys who haven't been educated in the past end up being somebody's partner, somebody's husband, somebody's father, and somebody's boss. And without them having that knowledge about what 51% of the population goes through, how does that happen here in Australia? So, eradicating period poverty has multi-layers to it, and we're just chipping away at doing what we can.
Well, the round that we're having in the Signet WNBL for fighting period poverty has multiple layers too. And as you can see, I'm wearing the T-shirt today that the teams will be warming up in before their games in round 4. These are also available for purchase with the proceeds contributed to the donation appeal. But there's lots of ways that we are creating awareness, beginning the conversations and contributing this round. There will be product donation boxes at all games during round 4, so you can bring sanitary products and donate them yourselves. And then we've also seen players already sharing on social media, buying products and bags and taking them off to Bunnings to donate for the It's in the Bag campaign, where we're calling for Australians to deliver bags filled with essential items to Bunnings stores nationwide so they can be given to women throughout the festive period. So it's really important that there's not just one stream to be able to get involved, that there's multiple ways to get involved and support this initiative this round.
Absolutely. How exciting it is to see the women who are playing basketball that so many youngsters look up to, sharing the knowledge about period poverty and making people aware that this problem exists, because I can tell you that there are millions and millions of Australians who do not know that this problem even exists.
Well, that's right. And one of the other stats that we've come across heading into this round is that 65% of females have missed sport because of their period. So it's wonderful to be able to combine women's sport and this amazing initiative in this fighting period poverty round, and the conversations are so crucial. And I thank you so much for joining us on the WNBL show this week. We can't wait to work with you and hopefully achieve some amazing outcomes this round and beyond.
Thank you so much.